All right, let's go. March Madness. Every year I come out with a video picking March Madness upsets. Every year I am right. Let us look at our highlight reel.
At 13 seed UC
St. Peter's Peacocks out of the Ohio University Bobcats.
Go did
North Texas Mean Green. Right, we nailed all those picks. We've done this video 4 times, 3 picks every year. We are 5 for 12. We're hitting on one every year. It's my favorite thing to do. It makes us feel smart when we know about the Cinderella before they're Cinderella, when they're still in the basement being ugly. I don't remember the Cinderella story that well. I should get it down because of all the basketball metaphors. And I firmly believe that there are things you can identify about these teams beforehand. I have been running around New York City trying to scout the Cinderellas. The ESPN Plus music is burned into the back of my head. Let's start with our 13 seed. This is not just my favorite pick in this bracket. This is one of my favorite picks of all time. It's one of my favorite stories. The Samford Bulldogs, our number 13 seed. That's Butler's Bulldog, not Samford's Bulldog, but I am so pumped that I get to be the one to tell you about Buckyball. They make a really unusual choice when they hire their new coach in 2020. They don't hire a former NBA player or an alum of the school or some up-and-coming assistant or a guy who's friends with John Calipari. They hire Bucky McMillan, who is a high school coach at Mountain Brook High, which is about 20 minutes from Samford's campus. It sounds nuts. People roasted them for this. There were articles like, what is Samford doing hiring a high school coach? It's different sport. But Bucky McMillan is a really great and a really special coach. He's a Birmingham native. He went to Mountain Brook High. At 24, he becomes their head coach. They win 7 or 8 championships in 12 years, going back to back to back to back and stuff like that. He's named National Coach of the Year the first time it had ever gone to a head coach in Alabama. And Samford looks up and says, our next head coach is right in our backyard, even if you're going to make fun of us for it. He creates this style, Buckyball. Full court press, every possession. Doesn't matter if it's a made basket, missed basket, full court press. They're going to press off a miss. They're going to press off the opening tip, which is what they did against Purdue. Very funny screenshot of them sending out a 5'8" guy against Zach Edey. They scored 134 points against VMI this year. They once scored 174 points in a 40-minute exhibition game. They are 6th in college basketball in scoring. They are 8th in three-point percentage. They shoot 39.3%. On defense, they are forcing a steal on 13% of opposing possessions. That's 10th in college basketball. 44.8% of their minutes are from the bench. They are doing line shifts. They are getting fresh legs on the court. They are going to tire you out over 40 minutes. It's what Fairleigh Dickinson did against Purdue. They were short, but they pressed, and Purdue couldn't handle it. Purdue, the best team in the country, the number 1 seed, they cracked because they weren't used to facing that type of pressure. Their guards weren't great at bringing the ball up court. They got tired. They were blowing open looks at the end of the game. When I'm looking to make these picks, I think the number one thing I look for is a unique style. How are you going to beat a team that's objectively had more success than you, has more talented players? How are you going to beat someone who's better than you? How are you going to, take down Goliath? And time again, the answer to me is playing a style they aren't ready for, a style they don't have time to prepare for. This is going to be a team that hasn't heard your name on Sunday, and then they have to play against you on Thursday. Being weird can erase any talent gap in the world. Being weird and being good at being weird, being dedicated at being weird, and just knowing what you're good at and being good at. They are going up against Kansas, which I like for 2 reasons. I think Kansas is a little bit overseeded, And we have questions about health. Hunter Dickinson, Kevin McCullough, both potentially injured. I love this team. I love the way they play. And to me, this is what March Madness is about. Underdogs. Moving on to our 14 seed. I actually noticed a trend, which is that every upset I've ever hit on has a collection of t-shirts from Home Field Apparel, the good brand. 2018, I said my favorite upset pick was Loyola-Chicago, Sister Jean. 2019, UC Irvine, Zot Zot Zot, Go Eaters, Surfs Up. I also have one with an anteater who's playing basketball. In this one, he's surfing. 2021, North Texas and Ohio. I don't have their shirts, but if you look on their website, they have collections from there too. 2022, Stride of Destiny, baby, St. Peter's. And last year, 2023, Furman. I also have a shirt that says F you all the time. So 2024, for a 14 seed, we are going with the Akron Zips. That is Zippy the Kangaroo. It is difficult for him to play basketball because he is wearing boxing gloves, but he can jump very high. I wore this shirt on the Goodyear Blimp when I attended an Akron-Kent State football game in November. I actually am not sure I can say I attended the game because I did not enter the stadium. I did not go into the Rubber Bowl. I was on the blimp, several thousand feet, about 1,500 feet above the stadium. So, the Akron Zips. Our Akron Zips. Well, 2 years ago, let's rewind back. 2 years ago, they're playing against UCLA. They do not crumble against this better team. With 5 minutes left, they have an 8-point lead as the clock is running down. Their best player, Enrique Freeman, who led the nation in field goal percentage that year, fouls out on a bad call with 3 minutes to go. Their next best player, Ali, has a shot to tie the game at the buzzer. Everyone forgets about it because on the same day, St. Peter's, Stride of Destiny, they beat Kentucky, so everyone forgets that Akron almost pulled off the upset. Now I know that's 2 years ago, but guess what? Akron has all the same guys. What I look for in March, in addition to unique playing style, is continuity. Enrique Freeman, Ali are still there. All 5 of Akron's starters are seniors. 4 of the 5 are career lifers at Akron. We're looking at a team that's pretty much the same team as the one that almost beat UCLA 2 years ago. And the opponent they're playing is worse. Creighton is not as good as the UCLA team from 2 years ago. I'm sorry. So everything here, I can't tell you how often when I look at these upsets, it's a team that had 5 seniors in their starting lineup or 4 seniors and a junior. That's Akron. And here they are to do the same thing against a worse team. And on top of that, Enrique Freeman has gotten better. Great story. No scholarship offers out of high school. He's 6'3". He walks on with an academic scholarship at Akron. He hits a growth spurt. A few years later, he leads college basketball in field goal percentage. This year, he leads college basketball in rebounds. 13 per game. Number 1 in all of college. That's more than Zach Edey, even though he's tall. One of the best players in the country. He's there on Akron. And let's also look at the way they win their conference championship game. They are losing against Kent State with less than a shot clock to go. Kent State, for some reason, intentionally fouls, puts Akron at the line. Akron hits game-winning free throws. You might say that's a total fluke. That doesn't make me confident in their NCAA tournament capabilities. I say the exact opposite. We need the flukes. This team can Jedi mind trick you. They can use that Benny Gesserit voice on you. Mind powers. Mind powers. The Akron Zips are going to be crazy. Okay. All right. Let's. Whew, ah. Let's. Our 15 seed. Long Beach State. You know, we're always looking for a little bit of a miracle with the 15 seed. And Long Beach State has already pulled one. There is so much drama in the LBC. Long Beach State, how do I put this? They have already fired their head coach. They fired Dan Monson. He is fired. He is not coming back next year. Most of the time when you get fired, you leave. You pack you get the box, you go home. It must be nice to be fired in Long Beach. They have a beach. You can take your dogs there to the beach in Long Beach. Rosie's Dog Beach, big fan. Isn't that right, Laz? You remember the beach? Yeah. That's what I would do if I were Dan Monson. He doesn't do that. He goes ahead and he coaches the conference tournament, even though he's been fired. Wins the damn thing. Wins the conference tournament, even though he's been fired. They're sick of this dude. He hadn't made the NCAA tournament since 2012. I graduated college in 2012. Look at me now. I have back pain. We got to get ready. He's like, you want an NCAA tournament bid? I'll do it. It's like, I didn't hear no bell. Yes, you did. You heard the bell. They made a press release saying that you can go home. Long Beach State may be the most confusing mascot situation in college basketball. And we've already done the Zips, who have a kangaroo as their mascot. Their mascot is just beach. They used to be the 49ers. I believe the school was founded in 1949. They decided to go with the Beach. Their team name is the Beach, they'll say like the Beach won 62-61. It's unclear how we phrase that in terms of like the New York Yankees, the Akron Zips, the Long Beach State Beach. It doesn't really. Their mascot is a shark. So they are the Beach. The Beach has made the NCAA tournament. Long Beach State has made the NCAA tournament. The Beach has made the NCAA tournament. Ken Pomeroy tracks a stat he calls minutes continuity. And Long Beach State, out of the 360 teams in college basketball, is number 7 in this category. They are 3-0 against power conference opponents. One of those was DePaul. But they beat USC in overtime. USC beat Arizona. Arizona is who they're playing in the NCAA tournament. Long Beach State is a 15 seed with an honest-to-God, straight-up, transitive property win over the 2 seed they're playing next week. And when Long Beach State wins, it will be sublime. Oh, that's not good. So now we have our 13, our 14, and our 15 seed from the men's side. All of them are very much like, oh, here's this one trick I discovered, this one thing that could allow this worse team to beat this better team this one time in this specific format. On the women's side, I'd like to talk about something different, which is just that the NCAA selection committee put 2 teams that are basically as good as each other in the first round against each other, when one of them is a 5 seed and one is a 12 seed. They've done something that honestly makes me kind of mad. Florida Gulf Coast. 2 years ago, they were a 12 seed playing against Virginia Tech. They hit 15 threes. They beat them. They shoot a lot of threes. Last year, they go up against Washington State as a 12 seed, again, against a 5 seed. They beat them. You might think the NCAA selection committee would say, hey, we put Florida Gulf Coast as a 12 seed back-to-back years. They won back-to-back years. Maybe we should respect this program. Maybe we should, give them the benefit of the doubt that they're better than a 12 seed. What do? They make them a 12 seed again. They make the Florida Gulf Coast back-to-back victories as a 12 seed. They make them a 12 seed again. It's not like they had a bad year. They went 27-4. Two of the losses were to Iowa and USC. Those are 1 seeds. They lost to Caitlin Clark. Oh no, they got to drop them down to 12. They beat Kentucky. They beat North Carolina. Meanwhile, Oklahoma, the 5 seed they're playing against, not that great of a team. They lost to Southern at home. They lost a home game to Southern University, the Jaguars. If we go to her hoop stats, which is the women's college basketball database that I use, Florida Gulf Coast is ranked 34th. Oklahoma is ranked 33rd. This is a toss-up. The spread on this game should be even. The committee says one of these teams is a 5 seed, one of them is a 12 seed, when they are essentially as good as each other. It's just disrespectful to me. So those are our 4 squads. On the men's side, we have our 13 seed, Samford, one of my favorite picks of all time. Our 14 seed, Akron Zips. 15 seed, Long Beach State Beach. Still working on that. And on the women's side, I think this Florida Gulf Coast team is going to win as a 12 seed, and I don't even know what the committee was really thinking there. Thanks for watching. Hopefully 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of these hit. I'm going to be putting out some videos here on YouTube.
Please like and subscribe for more content like this. Go Akron Zips. Go Akron Zips. Subscribe.